Hey everybody, it's me, Angel Benton, and it is time for another edition of Angel Sudsy Recap, where we delve into the world of daytime television and we do a few reality shows on the side. And one of the daytime television shows that we're doing is Days of Our Lives. But before we get into Days of Our Lives, I have to tell everybody. So yesterday, I was a little bit nervous because I had to take my CAPM test, and I thought I'm totally going to fail. I've mentioned, I was like, it's like a driving test. I can fail the first two times as long as I fail. If I don't fail the third time, I don't have to pay again, and I was stressing, and I was taking the test, and I was even in the middle of the test, I'm thinking, okay, well, I've totally biffed this, and I don't have it, so I will probably have to study harder and take it again in a couple months. And I passed the test. I'm so excited. So I am now a CAPM. How exciting. And for those that don't know, it stands for Certified Associate in Project Management. So that's huge. That is really major. So I'm so excited about that. You have no idea. It's crazy. So, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. So okay, so anyways, I just thought I would let you all know. So thank you all for the well wishes when I went. It was appreciated, and I passed. So I don't have no more studying. No, in 5 years I have to take the PMP, which stands for the Project Management Professional, and that's 5 years away. So I'm not super worried about that for now, right? Okay, so let's talk about Days of Our Lives. So Days of Our Lives this past week, excuse me, I think that Days of Our Lives has kind of, so I still think that they're trying to kind of tie up loose ends, right? And here's the good thing about Ron Carlivati, who's their head writer. I love him. He's very keen on history, right? And even though he's admitted he wasn't a huge fan, he didn't really watch Days of Our Lives. I guarantee you, he went into the archives and he read about every character and he watched old tapes. I guarantee you that he did all of that. Because, for example, so right now there's a story. First of all, they brought Bonnie Lockhart back, which, I love me some Bonnie Lockhart. And they have Hattie back, but, Deidre Hall's playing both characters. You can tell she's kind of having fun playing Hattie. So that you knew that was... Now, they brought Anjelica back, but that was before Ron Carlivati took over. So I think she was kind of a holdover. And So Morgan Fairchild, I love Morgan Fairchild. I've loved Morgan Fairchild since she was on, what was it, Capitol, Texas? One of those. Anyways, she was on soaps years and years and years ago, and then she did nighttime soaps for a while, and then she came back to daytime and did The City. So, I like her. I love her, actually. I think she's great. But I just don't think this was a good fit, because the writing was, when she first came on, the writing was not that good for her. She was always she was very cartoonish supervillain, twirling her mustache. She doesn't have a mustache, but it's a metaphor. So, it's annoying. So I was surprised, but kind of not really, to find out that Bonnie killed her in Friday's episode. So, or at least it seems that Bonnie's killed her. I kind of hope she has, but even if she hasn't, it just seems like that character was kind of a throwaway character. Right? So that's kind of, but it feels like, though, now that Bonnie and Hattie have a murder they've got to cover up, it'll be a lot easier. It'll be a lot easier without Anjelica, gumming up the storyline. That's my opinion. She could be faking it and be fine next week. Who knows? But it just seems, I'm not a big fan of her storyline. Let's put it that way. I'm just not a big fan of that storyline, although I do like that Judy Evans and Deidre Hall are having so much fun with it, because you can tell. And not just that, but I know this is going to sound awful, and I'm a horrible person for thinking it, but I love that Lucas Horton has fallen off the wagon, because when he gets drunk, some truths come out. He had a fierce scene with Kate where he basically said, you hate me, you hate me, that's why you treat me so poorly, and she's like, I give you tough love. He's like, do you know any other kind, and he's like, you're the worst. And it was fantastic. It was great. I loved it. I loved it because we've probably all been thinking that for decades, right? That Kate's kind of difficult to be a mother, right? So to have one of her children actually tell it to her was about fucking time. It's about 20 years too late, but it's a good, it's a good start, right? Okay, now they've been mentioning Will a lot, and I know that Chandler Massey, who played Will, not the last guy that played Will, but the second to last guy that played Will, is coming back to the show. I still don't know how they're going to do that. We'll see. But another thing is that, so John went to go rescue Marlena from the loony bin, and Hattie had him committed too. So now they're in joining rooms, and Marlena and him are in their, rooms talking through the air vent, and they're trying to figure out who is the one that is, because they know that Hattie is working for someone. They don't know who, though. So first, Marlena said Stefano. Now, I know you might think, oh, God, I'm going to hate that. But I really don't, because I don't hate that she mentioned him, I just hated that whole storyline where he was still alive. That was just so stupid. But, if he's dead and they don't know it, or whatever, that's fine. I'm okay with that. That's fine. But they said he's dead. So, yeah, because Hope shot him. Anyways, so they're like, no, it's not him. And then he's like, what about Dr. Alex North? She's like, the psychiatrist that fell off a cliff? And he's like, yeah, well, they never found the body. I mean, that is a nice use of history, right? Who remembers Dr. Alex North? I mean, that's good. That's diving into the archives. That was pretty fierce. Now, they haven't come up with Anjelica yet, but I think they're just, it's because they're thinking of the wrong things. Like, they're thinking of someone who is obsessed with Marlena, or someone who wants to see John go down, or, it has nothing to do with them. Anjelica wants to get with Justin, right? And Marlena was just collateral damage, just like Lucas was collateral damage. But God bless Bonnie Lockhart. Listen, I don't begrudge her from getting a little nookie from Lucas Horton, because she's been in prison for 10 fucking years, okay? Come on. Yeah, she's gonna want sex. Good for her, she got some. You go, Bonnie, you get it. Right? Now, granted, that did throw a little bit of what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say it makes things a little bit more difficult to do what she's supposed to do for Anjelica, because Lucas has seen her body now, and now he's seen Adrian's, and in terms of her boobs, Adrian has reconstructed boobs, and Bonnie doesn't. So, and he did notice that there was something different about her, but he was drunk, probably isn't even going to remember that whole night. So, I'll be very interested to see, obviously in the future, I'm sure he'll have memories come back of, wait a minute, Adrian's body was different. It's not her. We'll see. We'll see how that plays out. But I'm definitely, I'm definitely very curious about that. Okay, so one thing I'm not super curious about. Oh my God! No, wait. Here's another thing too. Bonnie is playing Adrian, right? So Bonnie has to study up on everyone in Salem. And what a great opportunity to use history. And of course, Ron Carlivati's doing it. So she calls Steve, she calls him Patch, because she heard that people call him Patch. They haven't called him Patch in decades, but he was like, wow, it's been a long time since you called me that. And she's like, well, I like to keep you on your toes. So, it was fantastic. Fantastic. And you can tell that when he was telling her the story of how Joey turned himself in. Oh, FYI, Joey went to jail this week. So, he's off the show. Is very curious to see how you can watch her try to play along. Like, she doesn't really know what's going on or who any of these people are, but but like I said, it's a great way for them to use history. So then she goes to Joey's going away party which they said that's not what it was, but let's be real, that's what it was. And Jennifer Horton comes and she's like, I heard you dumped Lucas. How could you be so heartless? First of all, last time I checked, whether it was Adrian or Bonnie or who cares, that is none of Jennifer Horton's business at all. So Bonnie kind of told her, I can do what I want, whatever. And she said, how can you be so heartless? She's like, are you kidding me? You're calling me heartless? You're the one that was addicted to pills. When she said that, I was like, oh shit. I love it, because I would have said the same thing. She's like, how can you say that to me? She was like that wounded bird. And she was like, whatever. She's like, I apologize. And, I loved it. It was great. So I do have to say there are definitely some things about the show that I'm definitely excited about. And there's some odds and ends that I can't wait to get cleared up. Like this whole amulet business is just ridiculous. It is. But this is obviously Nicole's exit story. So we'll see how that goes. But it's not going to end well for Brady, right? So anyways, thank you so much for logging on today. I do appreciate it. And thank you for wishing me luck on my CAPM test because I passed. Please feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Angel Benton. You can hashtag days to talk days of our lives, or you can hashtag YR to talk Young and the Restless. This is my shirt I got at the fan event. Keep calm and be forever young and restless. Isn't it cute? And you can also hit that subscribe button on my YouTube channel to get my videos sent to your inbox every single day. Okay, thank you so much for logging on today. Everyone have a great day. Peace out. Wubba, wubba, wubba.